Perseverance has found a Martian rock that looks ordinary at first, but carries some of the most intriguing clues the rover has seen. On Mars, rocks are time capsules. They remember water heat chemistry and sometimes the environments where life could have survived, if it ever existed there. Perseverance is exploring Jezero Crater, a place scientists chose because it was once home to a lake and a river delta. The attention comes from a rock target. Perseverance examined in an ancient river valley carved into the crater floor near the path the rover is crossing. The rock contains pale mineral veins, signs that water once moved through cracks. It also shows dark-edged spots that scientists have compared to leopard spots. On Earth, patterns like these can sometimes be linked to chemical reactions involving microbes, but that is not the same as saying life was found. The careful version is this: Perseverance discovered a rock with several features that make it scientifically interesting. It has evidence of ancient water. It has chemistry worth studying. It may preserve a record of conditions that were once more habitable than Mars is today. What is uncertain is the cause. The same kinds of patterns can sometimes form through non-living chemistry, especially when water minerals and heat interact over long periods. Mars is full of processes that can imitate hints we associate with life on Earth. That is why this rock matters. It is not proof of biology. It is a target that asks better questions. Was Mars once chemically active in a way that could support life? Did water move through this rock at the right time? Are these spots a false alarm or something deeper? For now, the rover has done what explorers are built to do. It found a clue, preserved it, and gave scientists a reason to look closer. One Martian rock can hold more than a color or a shape. It can hold a sequence of events. The rock that caught Perseverance's attention was not interesting because it looked dramatic from a distance. It became interesting because several clues appeared together. First, there are light veins running through it. Veins usually form when liquid moves through cracks and leaves minerals behind. That tells scientists water touched this rock after it formed. Second, the rock has small dark-rimmed spots. On-Earth spots with similar chemistry can form when reactions move iron and other elements around. Sometimes microbes are involved in those reactions, sometimes they are not. That difference is everything. Third, the rover detected organic compounds in the same general target. Organic compounds are carbon-bearing molecules. They are part of life on Earth, but they are not life by themselves. They can also be made by non-biological chemistry, and they can arrive from space in meteorites or dust. This is why Mars science moves slowly. A single clue is rarely enough. Scientists look for a pattern, water energy, the right chemistry, and a setting that could preserve evidence for billions of years. This target is interesting because it brings several of those ingredients into one place. But there are limits. Perseverance is a powerful field. Geologist, not a full Earth laboratory. It can inspect, photograph, scan, grind and sample. It can tell scientists which rocks deserve attention. But some questions require instruments too large and delicate to send easily on a rover. So the honest interpretation is careful. The rock may record a habitable environment. Its spots may have formed through processes that are biologically interesting on Earth, but Mars could have produced them without life. That uncertainty is not a weakness. It is the point science becomes strongest when the most exciting explanation has to compete with simpler ones. Perseverance has not closed the case. It has found a piece worth bringing into court. What Perseverance found matters, because it shifts the question Mars was wet long ago. That is no longer the surprising part. The deeper question is, what kind of wet world Mars once was? Was it briefly damp with water appearing and vanishing before chemistry could grow complex? Or did places like Jezero Crater stay active long enough for rivers, lakes, minerals and carbon compounds to interact in layered ways? A rock like this cannot answer that alone. But it can point scientists toward the environments most worth studying. The biggest implication is geological. The veins suggest fluids moved through the rock after it formed. The spotted patterns suggest chemical reactions happened inside it. Together, they hint at a history written in stages, not a single event. Mars was not just a frozen red desert waiting for dust storms. It was a changing planet with water moving through, rock altering minerals and leaving behind records. The second implication is practical. Perseverance is collecting selected samples in sealed tubes. If some of those samples are eventually brought to Earth, laboratories could examine them with far more precision than a rover can provide on Mars. Scientists could search for microscopic textures, detailed chemistry, and isotope patterns that help separate biological possibilities from non-biological ones. But even Earth labs may not deliver a simple headline. Ancient rocks are complicated. Evidence can be altered, erased, or mimicked by chemistry. The goal is not to force one answer. It is to build the strongest explanation from many independent clues. That is why this discovery changes the feel of Mars exploration. It reminds us that the search for life is also a search for context. Before we can ask whether Mars ever lived, we have to understand how Mars worked. Perseverance is not just crossing a crater. It is reading a ruined planet one rock at a time. And one carefully chosen rock may someday tell us whether Mars was merely wet or truly habitable.